My name is Eric. I'm making a game. That game is called The Godkiller. It's a 3D top-down puzzle-solving adventure game. And I am readying myself to release an alpha demo. It's not going to be given out to everybody. It's going to be for playtesters. And not just any playtesters, but a certain hand-picked group of people for me to work tightly with while I'm making the first versions of this game. And I'm going to demo recent progress real quick, but before that, let me explain this call for playtesters. I don't want a lot of playtesters. I just want a small group that is easy to talk to, that's got a little bit of commitment to it. Let me show you the requirements. This might scare some people off of doing it, but let's see. All right. If you'd like to playtest this game, the one that I'm going to show you in just a moment, here's what I'm looking for. You're 18 years or older, okay? A quick way of saying why. This game, if it had an ESRB rating, it would be M for mature. So I just don't want to get into issues with parents getting upset that their kids are working on something that they think is bad for them or whatever. Good at written communication in English, reading and writing. Okay, you don't have to verbally be good at English, just reading and writing, because that is going to be how we communicate with each other. Okay, you want to be interested in the genre of games where you solve puzzles. The reason for that is this group of playtesters will be influencing what the actual end game becomes, kind of like a focus group. Not quite like that. More just like, I'll ask you, what do you think about that? Is that fun? And if you don't like thinking about puzzles and solving puzzles, it won't be a good match. You'll be saying things like, oh, well, why don't we do a first-person game? And there should be more shooting, more power-ups. You should be able to grab guns. No, it's not like that, you know? It's a more contemplative type of game. You got to have kind of a medium capability gamer's machine. It could be one that was maybe pretty awesome about 5 years ago, is just okay now, that sort of thing. Or you could maybe have like one of those $500 or $600 machines that you buy that has got a 3D card in it. Nothing special, but so the hardware has to be up there a little bit, but not all the way up there. About 2 hours a week to spend on this up until the end of the year. And then there's this page here I've got, the things that might offend you about this game, and there are quite a few. So from an ESRB standpoint, I do not have an ESRB rating, but if I were to get one, it would probably be M for mature. I did a self-rating looking at all the different things that ESRB cares about, and I've got it all listed out here, and the rating I came up with was M. Okay. The main thing that is going to potentially bother people is the use of God and religion in this game. So if you are particularly a devout person to your religion, or if you feel bothered by things that might criticize aspects that are overlapping with what you believe, this is something you want to read through before you decide to join up. And then there's a pretty frank discussion about death and violence, and we play with the idea of death in different ways. People in the game are encouraged to suicide in order to teleport to different places. It's stuff like that. Gender, there's a little bit of sort of meta discussion around sex and gender. Okay, so if you're interested, you don't have to be fully committed to it, but if you think, yeah, I think probably I'd like to do that, send an email to info@cspacelabs.com. If all this stuff sounds good, you might have a few questions to ask about it. I'm happy to do that. So feel free to send an email if you're interested in being a playtester. Okay, let's get to a demo. Let's get to a demo. So last night I finished up the animation for this effect where you dive through this portal. So I'll show that. Okay, when the game starts out, there's this yellow plane here. And it seems featureless, but actually it's just a long distance away. And the camera is slowly moving in. You're controlling a little speck on the ground. This is the very beginning of the game. There'll be music playing. There'll be some credits coming by, flying by you in the air. And you won't, as a new player, know what's going on until you've had a chance to experiment a little bit. Particularly when you're just a little speck on the ground, it won't make sense. But then eventually the camera will get down to here and you'll see, oh look, I'm controlling this thing. Okay, then you might notice that there's a little pattern here. I may need to add more clues about this. But if you complete the pattern by stepping on the right squares, it sort of primes this portal to open. That's what the little smoke is. And if you step on it, ooh,